Hi, this is Robin Thomas of Living Well Connections, and I'm so pleased to introduce you to Leslie Thomas Flowers. She and I have known each other quite a while, but and she is just a phenomenal woman who is raising and empowering women. Leslie Thomas Flowers, and I love that because Thomas is my name. She's a trailblazer for women in business. She is a 4-time best-selling author, certified speaker, coach, and business consultant. And she's devoted the last 12 of her 25 years of a personal development career with a burning mission to crush the wage gap by 2025, 30 years before expected, by teaching women to have consistent, continual, habitual confidence to ask for what they deserve and get it. Now, I've known Leslie for at least 10 years, right? Is that right, Leslie?
I think so. I started this in 2008, and I believe that we began working together in 2009, maybe. I think it was 2000.
No, it was at least at 2009. I was on the board of Chicks in Business. So when we met, it was at a luncheon that I had arranged for this women's business organization called Chicks in Business. Remember that?
I remember you're standing out on the street in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
I'm an NC State fan. So if you know anything about the Wolf Pack and UNC, I didn't venture over to Carolina too often. So when I did that day to meet you, Robin, I couldn't find you, and you stood out on the street waving your arms. And I
stood out on Franklin Street,
yeah,
waving my arms like Leslie. Yes. Yeah, that was great. That was great. And that was kind of a big day for me in a way. Started off. It's one of those. The seed was planted. You were our speaker for the day.
Yeah.
And when you started speaking, by the time you had finished speaking, I was introduced to a whole new way of thinking. It was a mindset that a bit, changed my whole life and how I approach a lot of life's challenges. It really did.
I didn't know that, Robin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it did. And more than just business. It was a lot of life things that were going on in my life that time. Life things that were going on in my life. That's kind of silly. But you do. Leslie really believes that a strongly developed mindset of conscious awareness is what has helped her clients become successful and maintain it consistently over the 11 years that she's been teaching her program, even in the face of big obstacles. Leslie, you did say you're a State fan. You lived closer to Raleigh than I do. I'm a Chapel Hill UNC fan, right. And even with that, we don't fight.
No.
But Leslie does live close to her children and grandchildren. So that's another aspect of her life that we love, and refers to herself as a nanapreneur and an Uber Nana. Does that mean you drive the grandchildren around everywhere?
That's exactly what I do. And I even sometimes stop and get them something to eat between point A and point B.
And busy.
And there's no meter running.
Right, no meter running. So she enjoys the magical combination of living an entrepreneur's life, finally and ultimately by design. I want to know more about that. Hey. And I do know how passionate you are about supporting women with their goals, because I know you've helped me with mine. But when and where and how did you become aware of the importance of developing a mindset of conscious awareness?
I just loved learning all this new age stuff. I loved the law of attraction when The Secret came out. And that's kind of my nature. My own 30-year marriage broke up two or 3 years after we passed 2000, and I didn't want it to break up. They always say that if both of you want to work on it, it can be fixed, but they rarely talk about what happens when one person does and the other doesn't. Yeah. So I went into a period of a couple of years of just really being depressed. My 30-year marriage had broken up, right? And I had always been the front runner and the leader. And in those 2 years, it was a very reflective and depressing time. And then one day I woke up and I said, okay, enough of this. And so I jumped into transformational training. It was the second go round with landmark education, which is a transformational technology. It's not what I teach, but it's a great beginning on your road to consciousness, not the end, but the beginning, because it helps you distinguish some of the reasons that you do what you do. And, you know, as human beings over the last quarter century, Robin, I have realized that if we have a clear explanation and we understand what's going on, we're better equipped to do something about it. But if we're confused, we're not going to do anything.
Right.
So after all of that, I guess around 2006, the movie The Secret came out, and I was working in corporate America. Life was good again, right? Life was fine again. I got through all of that. That's another whole story, right? And I started a meetup group based on the movie The Secret. And it was fun because each week, or each month, excuse me, we looked at one of the practices or practitioners that were in The Secret. There were lots. And that's where I first saw Bob Proctor. And about 6 months down the road, I began to think to myself, wow, I wonder if I could do this. I could have these meetups. We could talk about the law of attraction. I mean, it's juicy stuff, right? And I'm a philosopher, a Sagittarian. So this stuff spoke to me perfectly. And I went to San Francisco State in the 60s. So I was very involved in new ways of thinking back then. And then, of course, 45 or 50 years goes by, flash forward. So I, one day, inadvertently got an email, and this is, 12 years ago, from someone I didn't know. And my intuition said, open it. Well, if you remember back then, and even today, you didn't open emails. Right there from someone you didn't know. Well, I opened the email anyway, and there was a link inside. Well, oh, that's even worse.
Oh, that's another one.
Oh, no. You
Don't
would never, ever click the link. I clicked the link. And I ended up on a very simple website with none other than Bob Proctor, who was the sort of the grandfatherly guy in The Secret. And it was all guided because I had no idea really what I was doing. I just did it. Mm-hmm. I'm very much and often an aim, ready, fire, or ready, I just do it. I jump out of the gate. Well, that was in 2007, and I loved what I heard. Oh, you will come and work with Bob. You will buy a business in a box. You'll be licensed. You'll do this and everything. Great, great, great. How much is it? $16,000. What? This is in 2007. $16,000? I had 500 in Edward Jones. And so this was the beginning of realizing something that I had wanted since I was 12 years old and dreamed about. It was magic.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have magic, to be able to want something and have it. I think kids may all have felt this way. So I told them in November of 2007, I'll be there in March for the training. Now, I had no clue where I would get $16,000. It was not on the radar. There was nothing that I knew of. But what I know now is that what you want the most, like a 2-year-old going for something, that it's already coming to you. The 2-year-old will browbeat you for that cookie before dinner, right? And gets it, regardless if they're spanked or not. So I said I'd be there. And I'm telling you, within 5 months, there was a windfall and I had $16,000. I went and bought into business with Proctor. And unlike all but about 1% of these crowded personal development training programs, mm-hmm. I'm one of the very few who still does it today.
Wow.
Right. And the reason is because I had the dream first. And then I went there. Very often we go to these things and we allow them to create a beautiful dream for us and a vision. And they're masterful at it. And then
they certainly are.
And then you go home.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, now what? right? So the key is to be your dream. So that was really where it all happened. They said to me, you're going to do a mastermind based on Think and Grow Rich. And I said, what is a mastermind and what is Think and Grow Rich? Never heard of either one of them. Don't worry, they said, start one in March of 2008 before you come to training. We'll send you the books. And that's all she wrote. Well, I majored in drama and I loved getting in front of people. And I fell in love with the principles of success. So from that point, I started doing masterminds, and you did my masterminds. I had beginner, intermediate.
More than once.
Well, you did the advanced, and I had workshops. And I mean, I actually became, over this last 11 years, an expert. Now, when I say expert, what I mean is that not only did I learn it and apply it in my life, but I could teach it.
Yeah.
And so, once you can articulate a concept and someone else gets it, you're on your way. So from that point on, people who were riding on the Think and Grow Rich train with me were being successful. And it was because it was a different way of thinking, a new way, right, of thinking. Learning is the miraclegro for human beings. We're the only living thing that has conscious awareness. We are the only living thing that can take an idea, which is thought energy, and turn it into physical form. Dogs and birds can't do this.
Yeah.
So that our job is to be learning. Always be learning. And as you do, your awareness of your infinite potential grows. So you hear something, you go try it, you're a little nervous about it, but hey, it worked, and you go, whoa. Now, why it's important for women, because in 2013, after doing this program and creating my own program and doing the masterminds for 5 years, I went to a luncheon, Robin. And this is how I got very passionate about working with women. I had worked with men and women before that.
Yeah, when I was working with you, you were working with both men and women.
Yeah, we had both men. Well, I went to a luncheon, and Beth Briggs, who was the director of the North Carolina Council for Women at that time, that doesn't exist anymore. She went on to be executive director for Dress for Success. She came to a luncheon, a Women's Power Networking luncheon, and shared the executive summary of a study that was done for the state of North Carolina by the IWPR, Institute for Women's Policy Research, which simply revealed in the executive summary that in our state, it would be 2054 before women and men earn the same in corporate. In that moment, I got the kiss from the universe, because I had been wondering, why am I teaching this stuff? I didn't really know why, other than I was good at it. People were getting results and I was having fun. I was still in corporate, so I didn't need any money, right? And so I was just playing. The whole life was playing. And so when she said that, I got this overall chill, right? Which we've had before, but it was right in my heart. I got my answer right there, which was, women don't have a clue about these principles. And if they knew them, we could close the gap sooner. Because I pictured myself over 100 years old with my great-grandchildren preparing macaroni and cheese and beefaroni. And I thought, no, I want bacon-wrapped scallops. So I got to do something. So I took all the work that I had done and zeroed it in on how to share it with women who were ready and hungry for this, so that they would ask for what they deserve, so that they could build confidence. And all they needed was this information. It wasn't hard. It's just, we never learned it. So that is,
that's great. That's a wonderful segue into our next question.
Oh, good.
Is really, yes, it is, because you were talking about yourself, but your real passion, when your passion shows, it's when you're working and helping with other people, and in women in particular. So what actually what do you have to offer? What are you doing with women right now? What have you developed and how can someone, when they work with you,
Sure.
be doing?
Well, a couple of things. So Since 2013, I've created a curriculum called The Essentials of Performance and Achievement.
Mm-hmm.
What I have learned is, and each quarter, my programs are a year long, and we set a new goal every quarter, and we go through the 8 essentials every quarter. So you might think to yourself, well, why would we do it again? We did it one time. Because what happens is you become more aware. And when you look at that the next quarter with a different goal, you hear new things.
Oh, I see that all the time.
It happens. It's a phenomenon. So we're now in our 25th business quarter. And inside this program, there are 2 things that happen. You know, success is one thing. What I discovered is over the last 11 years, I've never met anybody that had a class in how to set goals that you would have your best shot at achieving, or that had the rules of goals in high school or college. No one. Now, if success has to include achieving your goals, tasks, intentions, projects, whatever you want to call them, they have to occur in spaced, consistent intervals over time for you to gain momentum. But it's not enough to just make money and to serve others. As your business grows, your mindset has to grow too, because you will overcome obstacles at every level as your business grows. So if you look at someone, for example, who wins the lottery, they haven't done the mindset work. They're way up here with millions of dollars. They don't know how to manage it. They've had no experience. So they end up worse off than ever. But in my program, and I've had people that have been with me as many as 5 years or 20 business quarters, my clients have already crushed the wage gap because they already understand and have applied these things. So there's 2 keys. One, of course, is setting and achieving goals. And I have opened, Robin, you'll be excited to know that the 8 essentials of performance and achievement are the curriculum of Goal School. Great. I have opened Goal School because what I realized was there's something else hidden there. What happens when you raise your mindset as you grow your business, and you will grow your business as long as you achieve your goals and know how to set them in spaced intervals over time. There's something that women have or lack that men don't, and that's confidence. We've only been in business 3 decades. How would we be totally confident in 21st century business, this context? We wouldn't. So while we are capable, no doubt, to do anything we want, we don't believe we can. We don't deserve it. We don't have the confidence. And the key here is that every time you achieve a goal and any one of the tasks that it takes you to reach the goal, you're exercising your muscle of confidence. So it grows in direct proportion to its use. So when you know how to set a goal and you achieve even as little as a task each day, you are flexing your muscle of confidence, and you go, oh, I didn't think I could do that, but I did, and I was good. And then you do another one. Oh, before you know it, as long as this has happened over time in spaced increments, which we learn through auto-suggestion. Just think about how you learned your multiplication tables. It wasn't once a month. It was every day ad nauseum until, that's how we learn. We learn through auto-suggestion or self-suggestion. So as long as you're doing that as a woman, what happens is not only does your business grow because you're hitting your goals, right? But your mindset is growing at the same time. So really the results my clients have is that they earn more money and grow their business, and they're happy, healthy, on their way to being wealthy. Now
let me ask you, is this when I worked with you, it was a face-to-face group? I mean, we went and are you having groups, or do you have online groups? How are you doing?
I'll tell you how this works, because there are people all over the world that take this program.
Okay.
And a lot of local. So there's an entry level, which is 8 weeks, which is the foundations of success, which is much like what you took. Okay. which was basically the principles of success, the way Bob Proctor taught me. And they're powerful, right? They're in Think and Grow Rich, definite purpose, desire, persistence, faith, all of that. That is the basics. But the program 8 Essentials includes integrity. It includes creating beliefs. So it wraps up everything. Now, it's done online by Zoom, but every quarter there's a retreat.
Okay.
Okay, so people come in, and then the fourth Tuesday of every month, I do an optional half day face-to-face in my home. So if you're local, you get that. You can opt in or opt out. So it's a lovely combination.
I like that combination. I mean, I don't remember Inside 919, you know, it was like you met and you also had an online relationship too. And I do like that. So I can kind of probably guess this. What is the favorite part of your business?
Really, the favorite part is what you said at the beginning of this interview. I don't always hear what you told me, right? I don't always hear that this began your journey or was powerful in your journey. So what thrills me is that I've been able to create a program that works, where I only have clients who are my ideal clients. I've created over 6 years 3 solutions inside Goal School that women have in particular. One is time management, right? We can do a zillion things, but that doesn't work in business.
No.
Okay, it doesn't, but that's our nature. So that's one thing. The other thing is an accountability program, very simple, where twice a week you'll speak with your accountability partner. And also, did I say how to find your ideal client? Did I say that already?
Yeah.
Okay. So
well, no, you didn't. You were saying that you were.
Oh, it was time management.
Ideal clients.
Okay, so time.
So yeah. None of this. I work with everybody.
No, it was time management.
Yeah.
And accountability. And then I found that as busy as we were piddling away a lot of time with people that weren't our ideal clients.
Yeah.
Now, there is a point for me too when I started, so there's no shame in this, of going for free things. Because when I started, there still are lots of generous people out there, free events, and I went to them all. I was a workshop junkie. There came a time, however, when I realized that my time had a value, and my clients were running into the same thing. So about 4 years ago, using the Enneagram, which is something that I also taught, which is the ancient Sufi precursor to Myers-Briggs, using those avatars, I created a tight little program for you to determine your ideal client, or your ideal reader, or your ideal distributor, or your ideal husband, or your ideal boyfriend, or your ideal boss, or your ideal home, without going directly faced. It's like it's a process. And so you use those avatars and their personalities to determine who your ideal client really is. So there are a number of different programs.
You have a lot of programs, wonderful programs, a lot of tools, a lot of ways you can help.
And those tools inside the program solve what I'm hearing from women are the biggest challenges. I'm overwhelmed with time. I need accountability, right? And I don't know where my tribe is.
Right.
So that
so let me ask you.
Okay.
Well, you know what? You're giving so much. I appreciate it so much, Leslie. Okay. I would love for people, our listeners, to know how to get in touch with you.
Okay.
And what's the best way? What's your favorite way for them to get in touch with you? And also, you're going to let me know that, and I will post that underneath this video.
Sure.
Too, and I'll post it in the YouTube video, so it'll be connected to the video all the time.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I'll give you some links. So let me tell you that I spend a fair amount of time on Facebook. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I do.
Oh, you do have a group, one
Woman's Voice. And it's
a great group.
Yes, that's a thought leaders group. So it's women who are thought leaders or aspire to be thought leaders. And for me, what is that? We're open and excited for new ways of thinking,
Mhm.
because then we have new ways of doing things and conquering whatever fears we have and building confidence. So, yes, one woman's voice. You're welcome to join, find it and join. I'm also on Facebook, Leslie Flowers. I have a business page. On Instagram, I'm Leslie Flowers Enterprises. You
Okay.
could reach me through email. I don't know, is that prudent to put on YouTube, or is it better to have that?
Well, if I give the best couple of links,
Okay.
that usually works better than
Yes.
just putting everything out there.
Yes.
Best couple of links, and the people also, my listeners, can also find out if they can't find Leslie, if they find me, I'll direct you direct to Leslie.
Okay.
And we're going to be posting this. I'll be posting. Well, I am posting this in my group, Living Well Connections, but also I hope that anyone listening to this who wants to know more about self-care, self-help, goal setting, making a difference in this world, check out Leslie Flowers and check out Living Well Connections. That's my group. I have a wonderful
Yes.
group. We do a lot of focus on health. So health goals. And actually, Leslie is looking a lot about the business goals, but these same laws that, these same things that she teaches and talks about works for health goals
Oh,
or personal
absolutely.
goals too.
Yeah, actually, the whole thing about being happy, healthy, on the way to being wealthy has a lot to do with your general attitude.
Absolutely.
Right, so one of the things you learn is that you have a choice whether to be happy or not. And
Absolutely.
right, and but our default usually is a complaint, but it's pretty easy once you are ready and realize that, to shift that over. And a high vibration and feeling happy, I have to tell you that in the 6 years I've been working with this woman, there's only one woman who got sick. Nobody gets sick, I guess, because we are on the Zoom calls together on Tuesday. They have their accountability calls with their partner twice a week. We meet face to face. There's no chance to get in a low vibration and depressed for long, because
Right,
you, right.
right.
And
That accountability and that mastermind and uplift, and it's who we surround ourselves with. And
exactly right. And then if your vibration is high, you tend not to get sick as much, because low vibration puts your body into ease. So it
yes,
does all work together, even thinking a new way about health, right? It
right,
changes your vibration. So for me, it all begins with what you're thinking. Are you open?
right.
Are you interested in knowing how health and the right supplements, which is what you're involved in, how they interact in your body, gives you optimum health? But if you don't have an open mind and a willingness and a lack of fear and a real faith in the person that's speaking, and if you won't try it, then you won't know the benefits. So really, my clients, your clients, they're people that trust us, and they're open to finding out more. Remember, learning is our miracle grow. It's the thing that has us flourish, right?
Absolutely. We're always learning. Well, thank you so much. This has been delightful, Leslie.
Thank you so much,
And
Robin, for
we
inviting me.
will see each other again. I know we will. We really have been friends for 10 or 11 years. I think it might have been the end of 2008 when we met.
Right. Well, then that'll be 11 years as we turn the corner into
Right,
2020.
right, right.
And we have stayed connected, right? When Robin and I get back together, which isn't often because she's over there in that Carolina Blue territory, right?
Yeah.
And I'm over here in the Wolfpack Red. But it's like no time has gone by, right? When you're friends and you're authentic with each other, it doesn't matter how much time elapses. When you see each other, you're right back to where you belong.
True. True. Well, you take care,
Thank you.
and everyone out there, have a wonderful day.
Yep.
And like you said, when you think it, it happens.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you, Robin.